without soil. Mycorrhizal fungi play a growing role in feeding the world. The benefits that plants derive from mycorrhizal fungi include increased uptake of nutrients, increased resistance to drought, increased resistance to root pathogens, earlier fruiting, and bigger fruits and plants. They are helping farmers better withstand drought and use less fertilizer, particularly phosphorus, because mycorrhizal fungi find and restore phosphorus in the soil, making it available to plant roots. Mycorrhizal fungi are also being used to remediate and reclaim spoiled land and to prevent erosion of valuable soils. Mycorrhizal myths. Mycorrhizal fungi are difficult to grow in a laboratory environment, and most are visible only with a microscope. So for a long time, it was not easy for scientists to identify and study them. Before we understood much about mycorrhizal fungi, many mycologists originally thought they were pathogenic. Only a small, dedicated group of scientists studied them. Even when they could be grown in a lab, these fungi didn't always behave as they would in an outdoor field study. It took a while to develop replication methods and to understand the conditions necessary for successful establishment of mycorrhizae. As a result, a lot of myths developed. This book aims to dispel many of these. First, there is a presumption that mycorrhizal fungi are ubiquitous, so we do not need to add them to the soil. But considering that most of the soil around homes is not native, but has been brought in from somewhere else, it may not include the fungi your plants need. In addition, you may not have been treating your soil, and therefore its mycorrhizal fungi, in a way that benefits the fungi. Moreover, mycorrhizal fungi are competing with the native microorganisms in the soil, and populations of the fungi can be insufficient and far below those included in a commercial or homemade inoculum. Next, some erroneously believe that although hundreds of native fungi can exist within soils, only a handful of these are available in commercial mixes, so they could not possibly be effective. Although these mixes contain only the most promiscuous of the mycorrhizal fungi, they are likely to colonize your plants even more so than any native fungi in your soil. And, finally, there is the myth that plants inoculated with mycorrhizal fungi do not grow any larger or healthier than those to which no fungi have been applied. As you will learn in this book, this is often because the gardener makes mistakes, such as adding rich fertilizers that can disrupt or destroy the fungi, or otherwise mistreats the mycorrhizal fungi population. In addition, the benefits conferred by mycorrhizal fungi often have nothing to do with visible plant growth. Mycorrhizal realities. I learned gardening basics from my dad. He was an organic gardener, but the only fungi organic gardeners knew about back then were the bad ones. If you peruse the literature of the time, you won't find much information about fungi except for how to kill them. Even potting mixes were sterilized to kill fungi. Dad grew orchids and had a big library of orchid books. None of them mentioned that orchids will not even germinate until they have a mycorrhizal support team on hand. If my dad were alive today, or you asked a room full of garden writers what mycorrhizal fungi are, he and every single one of them would now know. There is simply no questioning the role of mycorrhizal fungi and the function of mycorrhizae in starting, growing, and sustaining plants. You can purchase mixes of mycorrhizal propagules from plant nurseries and big box stores.